Chapter 1, The Empty Stage, Why Leadership Begins Before Anyone is Watching. Have you ever stood in front of a room and realized no one was following you? Picture this, you're standing on a stage, the lights are on, the mic is live, but the seat's empty. And suddenly you ask yourself, am I really a leader if no one's listening? Because here's the truth, leadership doesn't begin with applause. It begins with intention. Let me tell you about Simon Sinek. He said, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. He didn't start with fame. He started with a question. Why do some leaders inspire and others just manage? Have you ever felt like you were trying to lead, but no one cared? Here's the truth. Leadership isn't a title. It's a choice. Think about Rosa Parks. She didn't give a speech. She didn't hold a position. She sat down so others could stand up. Let me tell you about Ethan. Ethan was a high school student, not popular, not loud, but every morning he picked up trash in the hallway. Every afternoon he helped a younger student with math. No one asked him to. No one paid him. And one day, the principal said, "You're the kind of leader this school needs." So the next time you wonder if you're a leader, ask yourself, am I showing up even when no one's watching? Because leadership doesn't start with followers. It starts with values. In Chapter 2, we'll explore how clarity creates influence and why knowing your why is the foundation of authentic leadership. Ready to lead with purpose? Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Chapter 2, The Compass Within. Why purpose is the foundation of leadership. What if I told you the most powerful leaders don't lead with answers? They lead with purpose. Let's talk about clarity, not just goals. I mean purpose, the kind of clarity that says, this is who I am, this is why I'm here. This is what I stand for. Because here's the truth, people don't follow charisma. They follow conviction. Let me tell you about Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't just speak, he ignited. He said, I have a dream, not a plan, not a strategy, a dream, and that dream move millions. Have you ever felt lost in leadership, like you were doing things but didn't know why? Here's the truth. Without purpose, leadership becomes performance. Think about Malala Yousafzai. She was shot for going to school. She could stay silent, but she said, one child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. Her purpose. Education, equality, empowerment. Let me tell you about Jason. Jason was a team leader at a tech company. He was efficient, organized, but his team felt disconnected. Until one day he asked himself, why do I lead? He realized I want to help people grow. So he changed his approach. He started mentoring, listening, celebrating progress. And suddenly, his team didn't just work harder. They worked with heart. So the next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, what's my why? And am I living it? Because leadership doesn't begin with direction. It begins with meaning. In Chapter 3, we'll explore how vulnerability builds trust and why great leaders aren't perfect. They're honest, ready to lead with courage and connection. Let's go. Chapter 3, The Power of Imperfection. Why vulnerability builds trust. Have you ever respected someone more after they admitted they didn't have all the answers? Let's talk about vulnerability, not weakness, not insecurity. I mean the courage to say, I don't know, I need help, I made a mistake. Because here's the truth, people don't follow perfection, they follow authenticity. Let me tell you about Brené Brown. She's a researcher on shame and connection. She said, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. She found that leaders who share their struggles build stronger teams, deeper loyalty, real trust. Have you ever tried to lead by being flawless, only to feel disconnected? Here's the truth. Your humanity is your greatest leadership asset. Think about Barack Obama. He once said, I've made mistakes. I've learned from them. That's what leadership is. Let me tell you about Natalie. Natalie was a startup founder. She was brilliant, but she tried to hide her anxiety, her burnout, her fear, until one day she told her team, I'm struggling. I need to slow down. And instead of losing respect, she gained it. Her team rallied. They opened up. They grew closer. So the next time you feel pressure to be perfect, ask yourself, what would happen if I led with honesty instead? Because leadership isn't about having it all together. It's about being real, so others feel safe to be real too. In Chapter 4, we'll explore how listening is leadership and why the best leaders speak less and hear more. Ready to lead with your ears, not just your voice. Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Chapter 4, The Leader Who Listens. Why influence begins with understanding. Have you ever felt truly valued just because someone listened without interrupting? Let's talk about listening, not just hearing. I mean presence. The kind of listening that says, I'm here, I'm with you. I care, because here's the truth. The best leaders speak less and hear more. Let me tell you about Abraham Lincoln. He was known for his long silences. He didn't rush to respond. He listened. He reflected. He said, I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. Have you ever tried to lead by talking, only to realize no one felt heard? Here's the truth. Leadership isn't about volume. It's about resonance. Think about Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. When he took over, he didn't start with a speech. He started with a question. What do you need to thrive? He listened to engineers, to designers, to customers, and that listening transformed the culture. Let me tell you about Mia. Mia was a project manager. Her team was talented but tense. Deadlines were missed. Morale was low. So she did something radical. She scheduled one-on-one listening sessions. No agenda, just space. And what she heard changed everything. People felt seen, heard, respected, and suddenly they showed up with energy, with ideas, with trust. So the next time you want to lead better, ask yourself, when was the last time I truly listened? Because leadership isn't just about speaking truth. It's about hearing it. In Chapter 5, we'll explore how action earns respect and why consistency is the secret to lasting influence. Ready to lead with integrity and follow through? Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Chapter 5, The Weight of Your Word. Why consistency builds credibility. Have you ever followed someone, not because of what they said, but because of what they did? Let's talk about integrity, not just honesty. I mean alignment. The kind of leadership that says, I do what I say, I show up, I follow through. Because here's the truth. People don't trust promises. They trust patterns. Let me tell you about Angela Merkel. She led Germany for 16 years. Quiet, steady, consistent. She said, leadership is about serving others, not being served. She didn't chase headlines. She built trust, one decision at a time. Have you ever worked with someone who talked big, but delivered small? Here's the truth. Leadership isn't about charisma. It's about credibility. Think about Mr. Rogers. He didn't just teach kindness. He lived it. Every episode, every letter, every moment. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus was a youth coach. He told his players, I'll be here, rain or shine. And he was. Every practice, every game, every setback. And those kids, they didn't just learn soccer. They learned trust. So the next time you want to lead, ask yourself, am I consistent or just convincing? Because leadership isn't built in speeches. It's built in steps. In Chapter 6, we'll explore how courage defines leadership and why the hardest choices often reveal the strongest leaders. Ready to lead when it's uncomfortable? Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Chapter 6, The Courage to Choose. Why leadership means doing what's right, not what's easy. Have you ever faced a moment where the right choice was also the hardest one? Let's talk about courage, not bravado, not recklessness. I mean the quiet, trembling kind of courage that says, I know this will cost me, but I'll do it anyway. Because here's the truth. Leadership is tested in discomfort. Let me tell you about Jacinda Ardern. As Prime Minister of New Zealand, she led with empathy and boldness. After the Christchurch attacks, she didn't just offer condolences. She changed gun laws. She said, we are united in grief, and we are united in action. Have you ever avoided a tough decision because you feared the fallout? Here's the truth. Avoidance erodes leadership. Action defines it. Think about Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, he makes bold moves. He said, when something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. Let me tell you about Jordan. Jordan was a department head. He discovered unethical behavior in his team. Reporting it meant losing friends, facing backlash, risking his position. But he did it quietly, firmly, with integrity. And though it was painful, it earned him respect that no title could buy. So the next time you face a hard choice, ask yourself, am I leading for comfort or for character? Because leadership isn't about being liked. It's about being brave. In Chapter 7, we'll explore how leadership multiplies impact and why empowering others is the mark of a true leader. Ready to lead in a way that lifts everyone around you. Let's go. Chapter 7, The Ripple Effect. Why great leaders multiply, not just manage. Have you ever felt more confident just because someone believed in you? Let's talk about empowerment, not delegation, not micromanagement. I mean the kind of leadership that says, I trust you. I see your potential. I'm here to support, not control. Because here's the truth. Real leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. Let me tell you about John Wooden. He was one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. But he didn't just teach plays. He taught character. He said, a leader's most powerful ally is his example. His players didn't just win games. They became mentors, fathers, leaders. Have you ever held back from empowering someone because you feared losing control? Here's the truth. Control limits growth. Trust unlocks it. Think about Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo. She wrote personal letters to the parents of her executives. Why? To thank them for raising great leaders. She said, leadership is not about titles. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex led a design team. He used to make every decision, review every detail. Until he realized, I'm not building a team. I'm building dependency. So he shifted. He asked more questions, gave more freedom, celebrated initiative. And guess what? His team didn't just perform better. They became leaders themselves. So the next time you lead, ask yourself, am I building followers or building leaders? Because leadership isn't the smartest in the room. It's about helping others shine. In Chapter 8, we'll explore how legacy is built through leadership and why your influence can outlive your presence. Ready to lead in a way that lasts? Let's go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Chapter 8, The Legacy You Leave. Why leadership is a life, not a role. What if the way you lead becomes the story people tell about you? Let's talk about legacy, not just achievements, not just titles. I mean the ripple effect, the quiet influence, the way your presence shapes others long after you're gone. Because here's the truth, leadership isn't a moment. It's a movement. Let me tell you about Nelson Mandela. He didn't just lead a nation. He led with forgiveness, with dignity, with vision. He said, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others. Have you ever wondered what people will remember about you? Here's the truth. Your legacy isn't built in speeches. It's built in small, consistent acts of courage and care. Think about Fred Rogers. Yes, Mr. Rogers. He didn't lead a company. He led hearts. He said, there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. Let me tell you about Grace. Grace was a school janitor. She didn't have a corner office. She didn't have a LinkedIn profile. But every day she greeted students by name. She kept the halls clean. She left notes of encouragement on lockers. And years later, those students said, she made us feel safe. She made us feel seen. So the next time you wonder if you're making a difference, ask yourself, am I leading with love or just with logic? Because leadership isn't about being remembered. It's about being felt.